Hello everyone, this is Edgar Padre. I am currently a student at Bow Valley College, taking Hospital Unit Clerk program. Today I'm going to discuss topic number 3, which is improving communication climate and managing conflicts, or how we can managing conflicts in our daily lives, relationships, or in workplace environment. Some personal relationship is a lot like the weather. Some are cool and formal, some hot and steamy, some are polluted and so forth. Some relationships have stable climates, whereas others change dramatically. And every relationship has a feeling, a pervasive mood that shapes interactions. Although we cannot change the external weather, we can improve our interpersonal climate. A communication climate is the social tone of a relationship. It is how people interact with each other, with their relationship. In every relationship has its own communication climate. Indeed, social tone defines and distinguishes romances, friendships, and families. A positive communication message contrasts a positive communication climate. In a positive communication climate, people perceive others as liking, appreciating, and respecting them. They feel valued. There are two levels of message of confirmation. One, confirming communications, a message that expresses caring or respect for another person. For example, you matter, you are important, you exist. In contrast, negative contrasts the negative communication climate and can often be found with people who feel unimportant or abused and therefore negatively. Disconfirming communications, a message that expresses a lack of caring or respect for another person. Example, I don't care about you. I don't like you. You are not important to me, or you don't matter. It is the message we send in our daily communications that contrasts a relationship communication climate, and those are the examples. So, let's talk about managing conflict. Identify the conflicts in your important relationship and how satisfied you are with the way that they have been handled it. Conflict means an expressed struggle is an inevitable part of any relationship. It comes about as a result of perceived incompatible goals. Example of perceived incompatible goals, like wanting different things out of vacations. So, like both parties have their own ideas and plans. Perceived scarce resource, how extra money will be spent. Interdependence, we're in this together, or interference from another party. Conflict can actually be positive and constructive. With the right set of communication skills, conflict can be less like a competitions and more like a kind of dance in which partners work together to create something that would be impossible without their cooperations. So, describe how communication climates develop through positive or negative reciprocal communication patterns. Relational climates begin to develop as soon as two people start two communications. If the messages are confirming, the climate will be positive. Communication climates develop through reciprocating communication patterns that reinforce the other message spirals. Escalatory conflict spirals build on one another to create negative climates, while positive spirals lead to positive communication climates. Examples of this: mildly irritated. Where were you? We're supposed to meet a half hour ago. 2. The escalatory spirals can also be destructive in that parties slowly lessen their dependence on one another, withdraw, and become less interested in relationship. How do you respond when someone directs criticisms towards you? We all deal conflict in a different ways, and this variation is dependent on our upbringing, our life experiences, and the efforts we have made towards our personal growth and development. Some personalities deal with conflict in an open and comfortable manner, and others avoid it. Then, if someone directs criticism towards to me, I simply don't take it personally. I mean, just realize it is not a personal attack on you. Don't react. Just simply respond by thanking them for the feedback and arranging a time to discuss in a more details before your response. Is there any room for improvement on your part? Yes. Be careful not to blow things out of proportion. Take a step back and always clarify anything that unsure of. It can be easy to take things out of content in your mind. Always discuss criticism to be sure not over exaggerating. Just accept the criticism in a positive way to improve your self esteem or confidence. Explain how you will change in the future interactions. In the future, if the criticism is valid, then just accept it without expressing guilt or other negative emotions. Accept that you are not perfect and that the only way we can learn is to make mistakes. See what we need to change and move on. Do you think your perceptions about others and other perception about you would influence your reaction to a criticism? Yes. This is like, how do you see yourself? How do you see the world around you? How do others see you? Or do you take action based on your needs and your goals? Or is your behavior dependent on how you feel others will view you? There are two types of perceptions: the way you see yourself, your role, and the way others see you in the role. The only perception you have control is over is your own. It's just not possible to control the perception of others. For example, consider the temperature of a room. You perceive a room as being comfortable while someone else thinks too cold. No amount of discussions or arguing will resolve the difference perception. Our own behavior is influenced by how we feel we perceive. Not only are we concerned with the perception of people we know and who are close to us. Just remember to treat others the same way you would like to be treated. Keep your negative comments to yourself. And also, don't allow others to taint your perception with others. Someone else's perceptions of you is irrelevant. And the most important is your perception of your life. So how do conflict styles affect relationship? Actually, it is matter. Conflict styles affect relationship. Conflict is unavoidable and occurs in every relationship, as well as internally with ourselves, between couples, at a school, or in a workplace environment. In general, conflict signals an opportunity to change growth, improve and better communication, whether yourself or others. True managing conflict may not be easy. I will give you three strategies how we can overcome the conflict in relationship. First, identify the issues. Analyze the conflict to help clarify the key issues. Some conflicts can seem very complicated and be visualized as web of different issues with lots of twists and turns. Second, work together to resolve. Cooperation as means of resolution requires that each person stop placing blame on the other and that both take ownership of the problem. Make a commitment to work it out, effectively resolve the conflict on hand. Third, forgive and forgiveness. If you and other part have both wronged each other, then you both have to find a place that allows you to truly forgive the other person. Even it is impossible to really to forget what happened, this is the mature way to go, and it will be easiest path towards resolution and cooperations in the future. So, my final closure for this module, in general, rule coming to a resolution that satisfies everyone's equality is not easy and often requires some flexibility and clever thinking. Oftentimes, agreements reached too early or too quickly in the conflict management process do not last because they have not sufficiently considered all the ramifications of the agreement. Try to remember, in any situations, communications, or in conflict relationship, it has to be two-way traffic, not only one way. It should be give and take. So, the purpose of this video is to provide the rational communication climate refers to the emotional tone of relationship, the way that people feel about each other, and the important for this climate cannot be overstated. Whether it is the role of climate in families and friendship or the impact climate in the workplace. And also, in every relationship, there is a conflict because we cannot avoid conflicts in our life. The challenge is to handle them well. Reflects on the conflict relationship and how satisfied you are with the way you handle it. So again, it's my pleasure and discuss this with you. Good luck to everyone.